This episode of CropLife Retail Week brought to you by Liberty Ultra Herbicide from BASF, the best Liberty yet.
Hello, welcome to another edition of CropLife Retail Week. I'm Eric Sfiligoj, editor of CropLife and CropLife Iron, here with my denim twin, Lara Sowinski. Laura, how you doing today?
I've heard of a digital twin, but not a denim twin. I like it.
Well, I was going to say, with this so happens we both ended up with blue denim shirts on the video, and that was not planned, viewers. It was total happenstance by chance. But yeah, I'm glad we did it. So we are promoting our friends in cotton,
Absolutely.
which you can tell by some of the one of the photos behind me. We're promoting them. So
Yeah, great, actually.
yes. So hey, of course we've had a couple of guests on in the last couple of weeks of Retail Week, so we haven't really done the news of the day, news of the week. So there are a couple of things that we wanted to talk about. One very big item, of course, folks that follow our program and follow the industry, of course, know that there have been numerous lawsuits revolving around Roundup and Roundup usage, and possibly, that causing, health issues for plaintiffs across the country. And again, most of those have taken place at the state level. But our friends at Bayer have decided to go basically to a higher authority on the national level with this. We found out about a week and a half ago that Bayer has petitioned to the U.S. Supreme Court to offer some clarity on the whole issue of glyphosate lawsuits. And basically the heart of their argument is that the Federal Insecticide, Fungicide, and Rodenticide Act, FIFRA, since that's a national standard, a national initiative, the labeling that adheres to those standards should be good enough at the state level, that additional labeling at the state level regarding health warnings would be redundant or unnecessary. So again, Bayer's petitioned the Supreme Court to offer some clarity and rule in favor that national standards supersede state standards. So we'll have to see what happens here, Laura.
Yeah.
Again, this is a case we'll have to be following because, as I think I noted in our newsletter recently, on one hand, I think the Supreme Court will probably do the right thing here, but a lot of the cases before the Supreme Court the last few years, when it's involved a federal standard versus a state one or a local one, they have not ruled for the federal standard. So I'm just a little bit worried, but we will see what happens.
Yeah, no, that news item caught my eye as well. Yeah, it'll be really interesting to see which way this goes. But certainly something to watch. Yeah.
Yeah, because again, if this, and I've had state association people tell me, particularly the folks in Missouri. Our friend Steve Taylor had mentioned the fact the other day I talked to him, and he's like, they're trying to pass a law in Missouri that basically said federal standards are good enough for product labeling, that state, additional warnings aren't required at the state level. And as he said, that, that we're in danger of, quote unquote, suing glyphosate out of existence if we don't do something. So it's nice to know that maybe we'll finally get some clarity from the highest court in the land regarding this issue.
Yeah, for sure. Yep.
All right. Well, hey, and one other thing to mention, of course, folks who read the CropLife 100 report we put out every year, I'm sure are very familiar with an Iowa cooperative named Landus Cooperative. And they're in Des Moines, and I know we visited them when we've done our Tech Hub Live event in Des Moines. We visited their facility, their headquarters, which is there. And their CEO, president for the last 5 years, was a gentleman by the name of Matt Karstens. But we found out on April 4th that Matt is stepping down from that role with Landus, going to pursue other interests. And in the interim, Landus is going to be looking for another president CEO on a permanent basis. But in the interim, they have named Sam Caton, who is their executive vice president of sales, to serve as the interim CEO. And Sam said that he's honored and humbled to be trusted with the exciting task of leading Landus. So We wish Matt well with whatever he does in the future, and we welcome Sam aboard and look forward to working with him at Landus until a permanent replacement is named.
Yeah, indeed, indeed. Yeah, you mentioned Tech Hub Live, and we are hard at work putting the program together and identifying speakers. And just as a side note, our Awards of Excellence program, part of Tech Hub Live, where we present the winners each year um, in the categories that comprise Awards of Excellence. We've been profiling our 4 winners from 2024 on the magazine, the cover of CropLife. Starting in February, we had Nancy Bull Borman, and then we had Lanny Filady. Nathan was his son. I just got my April issue of CropLife, and Blake Matthews is on the cover. And we're wrapping up our May issue, which will, of course, come out mid-May. And Lindsay Ross, the last of our 4 Awards of Excellence folks that are featured on the cover. I just have to say, it's been so nice to see these folks on the cover and to follow up and interview them and see what they're up to and see kind of like in retrospect, what Awards of Excellence has meant for them and their careers. And it's been great. So really do enjoy that. And speaking of Awards of Excellence, our 2025 program submissions are due by the deadline April 18th. So if you go to croplife.com, you'll see events on the horizontal nav bar there. Drop down and you'll see Awards of Excellence. It now lives on croplife.com. We added a 5th category this year for 25. So we have our Educator Researcher Award, the Legacy Award, Innovator Award, Visionary Farmer Award, and our new category is an Emerging Leader Award. So just a reminder, check that out. Applications are due by April 18th. We're really excited. Our colleague Olivia here at Meister Media has really led the charge to give extra love, if you will, to our awards winners. And in part, that's what prompted us to, hey, let's follow up, do interviews with these folks, get them on the cover. And it's great. I know it means a lot to these folks, again, having spoken with them and checked in. So do check out Awards of Excellence on croplife.com and get your submissions in by April 18th.
Yeah, I think that'd be great, of course, to have folks submit. And yeah, we're looking forward to the judging taking place and announcing a new slate of winners. And of course, fingers crossed, maybe next year we'll be focusing a little bit on those winners as well as we were this year. I don't know what we'll be doing cover spots. We'll see. There may be other things going on that we focus on, but that's a conversation for another time. But in the meantime, before we get to the end of the program, let's hear from this week's sponsor, BASF.
After 30 years in the market, Liberty Herbicide was ready for an upgrade. BASF is proud to deliver the best Liberty herbicide yet. We took an important tool for farmers and made it better. A better Liberty herbicide for tougher weeds on the best farms. Liberty Ultra Herbicide, powered by Gluel technology from BASF. Visit liberty-ultra.us to learn more.
So, Laura, hey, I guess we're coming to the end of the video. Your favorite segment of the show, of course. Time for Fun with Numbers.
Okay, give me something supply chain related.
Actually, no. I'm going to go with another one of the things that has sort of you've been very obsessive about, shall we say, for the last couple of weeks in our internal meetings. This is a question involving your now favorite crop, I guess, cotton. So your number this week, it's a small one, percentage, 6%.
Okay.
All right. So, Miss Laura, is 6%, is that A, the percentage of cotton planted nationwide so far? Is it B, the percentage of cotton planted in Texas so far? Is it C, the percentage of cotton planted in Arizona so far? Or is it D, the percentage of time I've attempted to start my lawnmower the past few days as it's rained here in Ohio?
Oh, goodness. So the first one was nationally, right? And then
Correct.
Texas, and then C was Arizona.
Correct.
I'm
And number again, 6%.
going to say A.
You are correct.
Yay.
Yes, Miss Laura. This comes from our friends at the Department of Agriculture. They were talking about the crop progress report, and this was for the week of April 4th. And they said at that point, across the southern states, 6% of the total intended acreage for cotton had been planted. And that was 15 of the major cotton-producing states. But just and that is on par with the 5-year average for cotton at this time of year, 6%. But just in case you're interested, in Texas, they're a little ahead of the curve. They're at 10% planted acreage for cotton. And in Arizona, they're at 19%. So I guess there's been some warm, agreeable days for planting cotton in Texas and Arizona because they are way ahead of the national average.
Yeah. Well, I feel like I actually got to see that. A couple weeks ago, I drove to Lubbock from El Paso to attend the Plains Cotton Growers meeting, and went through, the back roads there, and kind of saw. It was great. It was great seeing everything. So I feel like I saw a bit, but then I'm thinking, the cotton states on the eastern side, I think, in the southeast, a lot of bad weather and stuff. So that's why.
Yeah, and again, that's probably bringing down the national average.
Yeah.
But as the report said, that for this time of year, we're right on par where we should be with cotton planting.
Interesting.
So like I said, considering how much you've been talking about cotton, visiting with cotton folks, and attending cotton meetings recently, I thought a cotton-related fun with numbers made sense.
Okay, well, send out my Amazon gift card. Toot sweet, would you?
We will do what we can. So, all right. Well, hey, everyone, thanks for joining us for this edition of CropLife Retail Week. On behalf of myself, Lara Sowinski, and everyone at CropLife, we hope you enjoyed the program, and we will see you again next week.
This episode of CropLife Retail Week brought to you by Liberty Ultra Herbicide from BASF, the best Liberty yet.
If you have questions or comments about today's episode of Retail Week, contact us by email or Twitter, or type your message in the comment section below. Your feedback is important to us. We will try our best to address your thoughts in next week's episode, and be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel.